Hey guys, here we go. It's the sequel to last week's episode. Launchpad 2, Electric Boogaloo. Um, Matt's had this idea, and it seemed fun to me, talking about sequels and their funny names, which I'm excited about. But before we get into all the Too Fast, Too Furiouses, we should first send our plea to you all to like and subscribe, share us with your friends, get them to like and subscribe, start a cult around our podcast and get all your followers to subscribe.
Cults are big right now, huh?
Oh,
Or at least movies and
Yeah.
docs about cults and stuff.
well, I wonder why. Just I didn't mean for that to sound that sarcastic, but I am pretty sarcastic about it. I wonder why. It's almost as if a bunch of people just can't seem to like think for themselves anymore. It's kind of crazy.
Let the
Anyway,
handsome boys think for you. Those of you who've been on our or been listening to our podcast for a while, you know that we should be in charge of what you think about and how you think of things, right?
Yep, just surrender all control to us, and it'll be fine. Yeah, hit us up, social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you're on, Blue Sky. We're there too. Sometimes watch us on YouTube, listen to us on your favorite podcatcher. It's all there at Launchpad Pod. So till then, hey, let's get on with the show. I'm gonna run this thing right now.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Where's my intro?
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right. Welcome to Launchpad Podcast. I'm Aaron.
I'm Matt.
Matt. Let's dive into it. Sequels. Everybody knows that the first movie to have a part 2 assigned to it was Godfather Part 2. But what I can't find is the first sequel to have like a silly little like a colon silly name after it.
Wait, Godfather was the first movie to have a 2 in it or be called literally Part 2?
Yeah.
Wait, that was a choice.
Yes, to both. As far as I know, it's the first one to be dubbed with a number after it, Part 2. Called Part 2.
Not that I disbelieve you, but I'm fact checking you.
No,
that can't be true because one of our horror questions is the first horror sequel, 1955 Quartermass 2.
Part 2 then. Because
according to AI says, according to film historians, the first widely recognized movie to include a 2 in its title is continued to be Godfather Part 2.
Yeah, see, there you go.
But how can that be if this other thing says Screen Rant says well, here's the thing. This doesn't even matter because years ago, I don't remember how it started. I was literally trying to think of how this started. Gremlins 2 has a fun sequel called Gremlins has a fun sequel called Gremlins 2, The New Batch. I don't remember why, but I was walking around me and my girlfriend at the time's apartment going, Gremlins 2, The New Batch. And for some reason, we thought that was hilarious. So I just kept saying The New Batch. And about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 months ago, that popped in my head. And I pitched Aaron an idea for a show where we take movies and make up or change the sequel title to something, The New Batch. And Aaron, rightly so, was not fully sold on that. He thought the premise would get old pretty quick. And it also was like, even though I've never done drugs, it sounds kind of like a stoner's idea. We were like, "Oh man, that's hysterical!" But then 5 minutes later, you're like, "Actually, it's funny for 2 movies," and then you're done. So Aaron and I have this list of topics that we kind of go through and update every once in a while, and sometimes we prioritize or deprioritize. And it's been kicking around that list. And the other day, I looked at it and I modified the idea a bit, and then I got excited. And when I told it to Rumi, he got excited, and I said we should take movies like Gremlins 2, The New
The
Batch.
new batch.
The movie titles that have what we found out are also called subtitles, which is the title after the title. So Gremlins
Which
2,
makes it hard
The
to
New Batch.
because you type in the word subtitles and it's just like millennials can't hear movies anymore, and it's like, yeah, I know, I like watching movies with subtitles too.
Well, we had this idea, like the idea that Aaron and I ended up crafting was take a movie subtitle, especially if it's ludicrous, and match it with one that does not make sense or is funnier or could improve upon the title that was actually given.
Yeah.
So we independently, and actually we haven't really discussed this, so I'm guessing, Aaron, you found a list or came up with a list of subtitles that you think you could use creatively, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to take my original thought was I was going to take pre-existing film titles of
Okay.
sequels and just take either whatever their actual subtitle was off and put in a funny or ill-fitting one, or just come up with a movie that didn't have had a sequel but didn't have a subtitle and add the subtitle on to make it funny. What I started doing was just being like, okay, I'd see the subtitle and be like, oh, that would go perfect with this movie, but it doesn't really have a sequel. Oh, okay, I'll just pretend that it has a sequel and it's called this. So that's essentially what most of mine are. There might be a couple on here that do have sequels. Some of them, I don't think they're in poor taste, but get ready, Aaron, with that with your finger on the mark button, just in case you want to cut a couple out.
I'm excited because none of mine are dirty. I'll have to follow your lead because
I think mine will be okay. I was going to say they'll be okay to watch in front of your grandma, but my grandma's racist, so it works out.
I don't think any of mine are going to make sense now. All right, hit me with one. Let's get in a good example.
All right, so here's how I did it. I'll start with The New Batch.
Do you agree that Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo is probably the best of these to ever exist? You can just add Electric Boogaloo to the end of any of these and it's like thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get it to rhyme, that's even better because Breaking 2 Electric, well, I guess anything 2, right? Predator 2 Electric Boogaloo. You're right. There's nothing better than that.
Electric Boogaloo, it's so good. Have you seen Breaking? The first one?
No, neither one. I mean, I know what they are historically, but I haven't seen them.
Breaking 1 is incredible because it's a movie that it's perfect for Shitty Movie Sunday. It's about like this like dancer who wants to learn how to be a break dancer. It's basically the plot of like Center Stage or something where it's like white chick
step up to the streets.
Yeah, white chick goes and meets urban dancers who can break dance, and they're like, then they fall in love. But like everybody is so melodramatic and over the fucking top, and then it's just all these interludes of people like spinning around on cardboard, and you're like, fuck yeah. And then they show up to like the dance contest and blow it out of the water, and at the end everybody's like, all right kids, you showed us what real dancing was. And you're like, it's so serious. It takes itself so literal, but everybody's like, God, why can't you just focus? Breaking is really dancing.
It's like the 70s, right?
Yes, it's so good. And then
so
Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo just, I guess, ran with that premise for a whole nother movie, and it was fucking hysterical. They're both amazing for that respect.
I haven't seen them. I mean,
perfect
that was on my list, but I figured that would be the mess one that you and I would immediately jump on.
Yeah,
right?
Perfect for Shitty Movie Sunday. All right, so hit me with one on phone one.
All right, so one of the ones that I did was the New Batch.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of the best way to do for a new batch, and the one that I came up with first, I'll do that one second. But I came up with was Soylent Green 2, the New Batch. So again, like I was trying to think of ones that had that already had sequels. But then I was like, oh, fuck it, that's not as funny. So I came up with Soylent Green 2, the new batch. And then the alt to that would be Sweeney Todd 2, the new batch.
The new batch.
I was trying to think, like, I was looking up baking movies, and I was looking up cupcake and cookie movies, and I was looking up. That's how most of mine are gonna go.
How about
Soylent Green 2, the new batch. So now my thought is, like, we riff on that a bit. So you think, if they're off the top of your head, might be tricky, but what's a movie that you could do that would have the new batch?
The new batch. I mean, I can think of one that goes Gremlins 2, the Third Reich. So in 2011, the Blood Rain series, which is trash, don't watch those movies. There's Blood Rain 2 Deliverance, and then Blood Rain the Third Reich, which is like, I get it. She's a vampire who kills Nazis. I get it. I also love it when there's part 2, the third something, where you're like, wait, what? The new batch. I'm gonna have to think about it. Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah,
The
I
new
like that one.
batch.
I like that one.
Repopped.
3 Men and a Baby, the new batch.
The new batch. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that was really funny, and mine are not funny anymore. Okay.
No, yours will be okay. Do one that you did.
So I was literally just like swapping these names together. So
No, that'll
like,
still be, because it doesn't even matter if it's different, and if our prep doesn't match, it's still gonna. I think it's gonna be funny.
okay. So,
Sorry, listeners. The reason that Aaron and I originally created this show was not for you. It was to hang out and make each other laugh, and that has always been our go-to. When we make a Comic-Con panel, when we do an interview, when we crack each other up, it's just, would we want to do this for ourselves? So if you guys also like it and laugh, we are so happy. But you are secondary. We just want to make each other laugh. So as long as you make me laugh, really.
Do you know what the actual subtitle for Babe 2 is?
Yeah, Pig in the City.
Okay. Babe 2. Die, Dark Man, die.
I like it. No, it works.
Because to me, some of these just make no sense. The Darkman ones in particular, because you have Darkman 2, The Return of Durant. Who the fuck's Durant?
Yeah.
We don't remember him from the first movie. He was the main bad guy. Obviously, he wasn't that important to me. It wasn't like the return of Darth Vader, the return of the Durant. Darkman 3, Die, Darkman, die. Okay. What the?
Nope.
So you could do Caddyshack 2, Return of Durant. People would be like,
yeah.
who
Like,
the
I got to
fuck-
go back and watch the first one before I see that.
I need to remind myself who this secondary character is, because it's like, I know who Darkman is. His name's on the fucking movie. Who's Durant? Obviously, he must be the main bad guy from the first film, but he wasn't that memorable. And obviously, not everybody in the movie was like, hey, Durant, what's going on, Durant? Is your name Durant? Because I'm here to Durant it up. Like, I'm sure his name wasn't used enough for me to like, bing. Oh, yeah, that's who they're talking about. Cool.
I like it. No, I think it works. Okay, so there's a segue here.
Okay.
One of the ones that I had was Green Mile 2, High Voltage.
Yes.
So one of me and Aaron's all-time favorite sequels, Crank 2, is really called Crank 2 High Voltage, or Crank High Voltage. I thought that was fitting with the electric chair, but also based on what you said, I could also do an alt for that, which is Green Mile 2, Die Dark Man Die.
Oh no.
But maybe Durant could be the guy. Maybe it's not.
Oh.
Maybe you walk in there thinking it's a racist title, but then you watch it and you say, "Oh, it's an analogy. He's not physically dark toned. It's a metaphor. He's foreboding and mean." I see.
Green Mile 2, Aftershocks. Because Tremors 2 was originally called Aftershocks.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, how about the ones that get super, super specific? Green Mile 2, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
Yeah. I almost purposely stayed away from those because you could just interchange that with everything, right? Like the Hunt for the Blood Orchid could be in any title, right?
Yep. Oh,
The
yeah.
Lion King 2, The Hunt for the Blood
Blood
Orchid.
Orchid. Yeah. Okay. Again, it's one of those things that you're just like, I don't understand the purpose of these. Like, a lot of times if you had to come up with this, if you're like blank blank 2 and then I need a subtitle, why would the Hunt for the Blood Orchid be the important thing? Just anacondas, I get it. More snakes, plural. Good. Yeah. The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, I'm like,
And that was that Pumpkinhead?
no. No, that was
Anacondas was
yeah.
Anacondas.
Yeah.
So
Anaconda.
so here's the thing, and it's the same thing for Pumpkinhead, right? If you're what are you, a marketing team or whatever, you're titling the next Anaconda movie, right?
Yeah.
Anaconda came out. It was a relative summer hit. I would think your main target demo for Anacondas 2 is the people that saw Anacondas or Anaconda 1, right?
Yeah.
That's your main target demo.
Yeah.
If you just say Anaconda 2, those people are either going to be in or not. There's nothing that you can title that's going to make or break a return customer from Anaconda 1, right? I'm getting analytical here.
Go for it. I'm here for
Any
it.
other person that's looking on the internet or in those days the newspaper for a movie to see, they're not going to go see Anaconda 2. Was it called Anaconda 2, the Blood Orchid?
It was called Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
So
plural. Which
again, if you just say,
you're following the alien,
right.
Aliens. It's like Anaconda, Anacondas. That's
but
fine.
Aliens, the sequel to Alien, was originally called Aliens, the Discovery of the Slime Blossom. Remember?
yeah. But that was changed from Aliens, Your Sister is a Werewolf. These are all real subtitles. None of this is coming out. Well, Matt's Slime Blossom, obviously, but like it's Your Sister is a Werewolf. What the fuck?
Yeah, like whose idea was like, hey, you know what we need to? Although I would say that Your Sister is a Werewolf is a more intriguing subtitle standalone than Hunt for the Blood Orchid, right?
Well, because Anacondas, like you said. Who's your demographic? People who saw the first movie, people who like snakes, people who think snake movies are scary. You know what the smallest demographic that's in that title is? People who give a shit about orchids.
Orchids.
Yeah. There's a very small percentage of people who are like, ooh, I hope they find that flower. And it's like
they were looking at the returns from Anaconda and they were like, not enough florists or botanists went out to see this movie. How could we get them on the marquee? And they were like,
literally put it in the title.
Yeah, we need more floral stuff in the actual title.
It's also one of the longest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. It's one of the longest subtitles in the whole thing that we have. Like all of them. And I have a list of nearly 150 films with subtitles. And that's a lot. The Hunt
I'm
for the Blood Orchid.
I'm looking to see if I have any that have bigger ones.
Right? I don't know if you're going to.
What was Prom Night?
Oh, Prom Night 2.
Hello, Mary Lou.
Hello, Mary Lou.
Yes, that wasn't as long.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, I love it.
Whose turn is it? What are we doing?
It's fine. Anybody can go.
I Love Lucy 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold.
I Love Lucy 2, Annihilation.
I'll go back a step and say The Three Stooges, The Legend of Curly's Gold.
There you go. Were you a Three Stooges fan as a kid?
No, 0%.
0%.
I never watched that kind of stuff. I watched way more Laurel and Hardy and way more Abbott and Costello than I watched Three Stooges.
Saw a lot of Three Stooges. They were on quite a bit. Pretty
It's like
funny.
Jack Kirby stuff for me. Like I know how important that is, and I know that that is historical gold, but I don't care.
Yeah. I like Abbott and Costello too. Who's on first, man? It's great.
Oh God, I watch that all day.
Leprechaun 4. We know the subtitle for that is In Space. Another one. So simple. Exactly what you want out of it. Tells you exactly what's going to happen. Tells you that movie's going to suck. I mean, it's perfect. In Space. Tag that on to anything. Lion King 2, Mufasa, In Space. You tie that like Pinhead, Hellraiser 4, Bloodlines, In Space. Tag that on and you are off to the races. My butt's in the seat. You have my money.
Love Actually in space.
In space. Yeah. Dumb or Dumber in Space, which is where they should have gone. Harry Met Lloyd
Schindler's List
in
space. Jurassic Park in space. You could just do a whole Steven Spielberg thing. Jaws in
You know how they're
space.
rebooting all like the Jurassic Park stuff? They're doing another Jurassic Park series now. And it's like, why haven't we gotten Jurassic Park in space? Because the plot of every one of these movies now is like, it was the prototype park, and then it was the prototype base research facility to build the prototype park, and then it's the research facility that was hidden for the first experiment. Like, just go to space, and it's like, this is where he was keeping the embryos. And it's like, who was this guy? Iron Man? Like, where's all this? Like, he spared no expense, and he's like, yeah, to get that satellite up there so you can go up and fight a T-Rex in space. But come on, you wouldn't watch that shit? Jurassic Park in space.
I actually I'm at least one Jurassic Park movie behind that I haven't even seen yet, but not really because of anything, except now at this point, they're just popcorn movies. I don't care. I'm going to go in another direction.
Okay.
I want to pull the Jurassic Park lens back and show dinosaur-similar aliens looking at Earth, and Earth was their human amusement park, and we somehow got out and took over the planet and became Earth and humans as it is.
But
they're
the
like,
aliens look like dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a dinosaur alien in a spaceship that's John Hammond dinosaur alien, and he's like, oh, they're all over the place. And then there's there's Jeff Goldblum, dinosaur, with his shirt open, dinosaur alien, chaos theorist. It's like, I told you those humans would get out. Now
Nature
look at
finds
them.
a way. Nature finds a way. Oh my God, I love this. And then you have like this raptor sitting there with Jello, like, oh, and this little girl's like,
Then they run in and they're like, oh shit, the humans can open doors, and you see a human just take their opposable thumb.
And there's a scene where the little children raptors are trying to climb up into the roof, and the little girl raptor, the little girl human down below goes, whoom, and like just practically bites her foot off. Because I assume they're like feral, like cavemen people, right?
No, I mean today. It's today. Don't you think the world and the human influence on the world is more fucked up today than it was during caveman times?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, at least then cavemen would still had a lot that could kill them. Now,
how about there's a Jeep Wrangler, right?
Yeah.
With all these alien dinosaurs in it, and they jump out, and alien Alan Grant is like, wow, how fast do they go? And he goes, we clocked the teenager at 35 miles an hour. And he goes, what? Say that again? We have a teenager.
I love it. And then you have the teenager smashing through stuff, being like, ah, and the banner falling when humans ruled the world.
What happened to why is there a burger there? To feed the teenager. Teenager doesn't want to be fed. He wants to hunt for his food. Where's the burger?
Splat. Doesn't have the same impact, but hysterical.
All right, we're going to take a second now. We go back and re-record our intro. We're not talking about sequels anymore. We're just doing this parody reboot new Jurassic Park movie that we're coming up with on the fly. Shit, now there's a lot of mileage in this joke, though. I think we could do an episode on this.
We could do the entire movie. Flintstones 2, Beyond the Gates of Hell.
I like that. Beyond the Gates of Hell.
Yeah, that was Wishmaster
I will say
3's.
Sister Act 2, Beyond the Gates of Hell. That's off the dome, bro. I like that one. That
Sister
might be
Act
better
2.
than anything I wrote down.
Sister Act 2, Trail of Blood.
I would say Bridesmaids 2, Trailer Blood.
I mean, Sister Act 2, Back to Perfection.
Hmm.
I mean, you know, that's an easy. That's almost too good. They don't deserve that.
All right, let me give you one of my. I was happy about this. A pretty good one. Ready?
Yeah.
There's something about Mary 2, Secret of the Ooze.
No. Oh my God. So on social media, you know, Valentine's Day was recently. I was looking for maybe some jewelry for Kate. She has a cool ring that looks like melted gold, and it's like drippy. And I was looking at that same company that makes that ring, and they had earrings that were drippy, but they were in silver. And I immediately jump into the comments section, and the first one there, somebody goes, "You guys ever seen Something About Mary?" Someone had beat me to it, and I go, "That's not hair gel." Ha 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 ha. The original poster goes, "Oh, did we just age ourselves?" And I was like, "Is that the Frank or the Beans?"
Nice.
I don't think the person who made it knew that they made earrings that looked like fucking
Yeah.
drippy spunk. But that's not something you put in silver or dangle off your ears. Sorry, I think everybody.
If you looked at that website on a library
Yeah.
computer, it would be flagged, and then they'd pixelate the ears. Come on, man. There's something about Mary 2, Secret of the Ooze.
The evil escapes. That's funny. That is a good funny one.
I like that. I was proud of that one.
Oh.
I have Gandhi for a lot of these. Not
Gandhi
Secret of
too.
the Ooze. I have Gandhi 2 Reloaded.
Gandhi 2, Failure's Not an Option.
Gandhi 2, The Revenge.
the Revenge. The Revenge is also on a ton of these. That's a pretty
But most of that is like it's straightforward, it makes sense, and it's like I tried. But like I want to see like Amelie, The Revenge.
The Revenge.
I want to see Paddington, The Revenge.
Oh, ooh, okay. Let's think about good Paddington ones, because we just had Paddington. There's Paddington 2, and then there's Paddington in Peru, which. All right, man. World Traveler. Also, I don't know. Have you seen the Paddington films?
No, none of them.
Wow, dude.
You did a whole thing about Paddington 2 about how it changed your life, and you were like,
Yep.
you loved him so much.
Paddington. No, it was the first Paddington one. Paddington. No, maybe it was Paddington 2. Anyway, we're getting ready to go to a rap party. I knock on my supervisor's door at the hotel, and he's like, "Oh, come on in. I'm just putting my shoes on." And Paddington 2, let's say it's Paddington 2 for the sake of argument. Paddington 2 Afterlife is on the TV, and you know, we're just watching it casually, getting ready to leave, and then all of a sudden it's like we're just standing there watching it. And suddenly he's like, "We're late." And it's like, "Yeah, but I want to see what happens to this adorable bear." And then like cut to 5 minutes later, and we're both like, "We should probably get going, man." And he's like, "Yeah, I know. We should probably get going." And it's like, this movie is so fucking good. It made me late to a party that was probably way more important than Paddington 2 was when I went into that room. But then I was like, man, I got to finish this little bear adventure. So good, man. It's so charming. Brilliant. Yeah, but yeah, Paddington 2 Afterlife. Paddington 2 Evil Never Dies.
I like that one too.
Yep. Oh my god. Yeah, you should watch it. Paddington 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf. I'll just use that one forever. Over
that
and over
might
again.
be it's a gold one. Like
Yeah.
I would watch almost any movie we've said so far that also mentions your sister being a werewolf. And Paddington 2 right away is like Paddington 2, Your Sister is a Werewolf is right away like, wait, how? You're
What?
already making me lean into that theater, you know?
Yeah. Oh, big time. Paddington 2, The Spawning.
Was that Piranha 2?
Yeah, that's Piranha 2, The Spawning, where they grow wings all of a sudden.
Directed by James Cameron.
Yeah, movie sucks. Sorry, James. I know you're listening. But while you're at it, can you make Terminator 2 the Bordello of Blood, please?
So what's Terminator 2 is Judgment Day, right?
Yeah,
how about
Terminator 2
Judgment Night 2, Judgment Day?
Judgment Night 2, Judgment Day. Judgment Night 2, Judgment Day.
that almost sounds like a Simpsons level one where like that's what Homer would be watching, you know?
Yeah. Terminator 2, the marsupials. Would watch that. Robot marsupials? I'm down for it.
I would watch it as well. Yeah, easily.
Have you seen that? It's Howling 3, the marsupials.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have. I wish I could get my hours back for that.
It's terrible. It's one of those premises you're like, well, how can this be a bad time? This could be fun, right? It's Australian were creatures that are marsupials. I'm down for this. And like, oh no. We're going to be so boring and weird and terrible. We will not deliver on the promise. And
I gotta
by the
say,
time we
man,
do,
how many Howling sequels deliver on anything?
No, your sister's a werewolf doesn't even deliver on anything.
Correct. It delivers on your sister has boobs, but it does
Yeah.
not really deliver on sister has werewolves. Depending on where I am in my life, that movie is either perfect or not at all.
And then there's a fourth one, Howling 4, the Freaks.
There's also like Howling Reborn. I think there might be one just called. They might have done that Fast and the Furious thing, or the Predator thing. Where
Oh
they're like,
my God!
This
Howling
is called
5,
The Howling.
the
This one's called
reboot.
Howling.
Howling 6, the Freaks. Oh my gosh, I didn't know. Howling 5, the Rebirth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And they're all essentially,
no.
they feel like the same movie. They're all interchangeable. And every once in a while you get a good makeup or fun kill or something, but nothing, certainly nothing to write home about.
Howling New Moon Rising and then Howling Reborn. Yeah, oh my God. You know you're in a bad place when it's like trying to be like, guys, we're fresh and new. We redid it. The new batch, we're like reevaluating. Howling 7, the new batch. Like that's, wow, holy shit. I can't believe there's 8 of these movies. And only one
I
of
think
them
they're
is good.
very much those movies that are like, hey, I want to make this movie about these marsupial type werewolves. And they're like, okay, let's just call it Howling 4. And they're like, oh, I want to make this movie about this kind of creature in the, this setting and this time frame. And they're like, okay, let's call it Howling 6. And it's not about any,
It's kind of like how, like, anytime somebody's like, I have a gritty crime drama, and they're like, can you fit a Cenobite into it? And they're like,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
And they're like,
exactly.
we got
a
we
movie
have a
about an
Pinhead sequel.
alcoholic detective who's trying to make his way in the underworld. And you're like, yeah, put a Cenobite in it.
Yeah. Keep those rights, baby.
That
Yeah.
might be one of my favorite jokes you've ever made. And that's the kind of joke too that if we were at a party or had a bunch of people over our house and you said it, I would immediately know who in that room was my brethren by who laughed and who didn't get the joke, Oh man, that's pretty good.
Oh.
How about the boys from Brazil 2, the new batch? Or the Prestige 2, the new batch?
I love The Prestige, though. That's a good movie.
The first one or the second one?
Prestige 2, Die a Dark Man Die. Here's a good one that I have. I don't have a movie for this, so maybe you can help me out.
All right.
But I lost it. Oh, Back to the Hood.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, yeah.
Birth of a Nation 2, Back to the Hood.
No. Well, you do know that one of the first sequels was Death of a Nation,
Mhm.
right? Like
Yeah.
looking up this stuff, one of the first sequels ever was called Death of a Nation. For those of you who don't know, Birth of a Nation is a movie that totally just fucking glorified the Ku Klux Klan. And D.W. Griffin, who made it, was like, hell yeah. And he got kicked out of the United Artists Collective because Charlie Chaplin was like, bro, what? Like, dude, no. And it's funny because people are like, well, no, it's a product of its time. But it's one of those things where like, yeah, but not of the time it was made. It's a product of like almost like still way before that. Because when it came out, a bunch of people were like, what? No, that's fucking terrible, dude. Fuck
Oh
the
my
Klan.
God.
And D.W. Griffith was like, well, fine, I'm gonna go make my own fucking movies. And they're like, okay, you go do that. Charlie Chaplin, legend.
Charlie Chaplin 2, Pig in the City.
Pig in the City. Oh my God. um Charlie Chaplin 2. Oh man, where's one about cocaine? Can I find one that fits a joke about cocaine?
Babe in the Windy City.
Is
No.
wait, Windy City? Oh, that's Chicago.
Blow.
Blow. Yeah, okay.
It was a stretch. As soon as I said it, I regretted it. More so than the slightly racial ones I've thrown out.
At least those jokes landed. That's the thing. It's like I've seen comedians say some wild shit that I will not repeat here, but it's like the ones that work are the ones where the joke lands. And then like if you are one of the comedians who can't make your jokes land, you say something edgy and everybody goes, "Well, you suck."
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. Mm. Legends of Curly Gold. Look who's talking to. I love it when they swap out the number 2 for like a 2 also, where they're like, also.
Oh,
Look
I
who's
didn't think
talking
of that. Damn, that's
also.
a whole we could mine there too.
There's a whole thing there. I hate it when it's just the return or the revenge. As I mentioned, there's a lot of these movies.
Yeah.
Hollow Man 2, The Return. Blah, 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 2, The Return.
What do you think is what's the reasoning behind that? If you're a distribution studio or a movie studio, why do you what's the benefit there?
Of just tagging on a shitty
The
subtitle?
return. The return isn't even exciting. At least the revenge implies excitement, right? If you just say Hollow Man 2, The Return.
I think it's an attempt because when you look at Hollow Man 2, you're like, that's not exciting enough. I need it to be more exciting.
But like, why wouldn't you say like Hollow Man 2, Seeing Double, or something like that, where you're like, okay, let's play on the Invisible Man aspect of it, right? Hollow Man 2, I don't know, The Return. That's like lately Netflix will be like, Rolling Stone claimed this movie was intense. And you're like, cool. What's it about? Aaron McClain stars in this movie directed by Matt Corrigan. Okay, but like, what is it about?
Well, because we live in a complete time where who's in the movie, who directed it, the 6th producer of a Fast and the Furious franchise, nobody gives a fuck. Like that sells the movie internationally, but nobody
Produced
cares.
by the craft services officer from Fast and the Furious 12.
Yeah, it's like yeah. Produced by with the transpo captain of Lost Boys 3, The Thirst. It's like, okay, who cares? Why is that, do you think, is the selling point of the movie? And it's like, it's not, but it's clout that people actually don't care about. It's just, I don't know, but I think you just tag on The Return or you tag on The Evil Escapes or whatever, just to make the poster look a little bit denser and more inviting to the eye. Cold Day in Hell. Prophecy Fulfilled. Wishmaster has a ton of really good ones. Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies. Wishmaster 3, Beyond the Gates of Hell. Wishmaster 4, Prophecy Fulfilled. It's like, okay.
I mean, it's taking its job seriously.
Yeah. um, here's what I want you to do. If you have a list of them, can you hit me with one and see if I can guess if it's real or bullshit? No way, that's fake. You made that up. Because you're really good at tricking me at these things.
Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can do one like that. Let's see. I think all of these you'll know right away because I built these to be funny. Like The Bourne Identity 2, The Spy Who Shagged Me. Like, all of mine are that level of, like, not only do I know damn well there was no sequel to that movie. I mean, there was for Bourne Identities. This doesn't work. But, like, you'll know that there's no sequel, but you'll also know. Shit, we could do that for another one, though. How about this one? Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy 2. The Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy Who Shagged Me.
Speaking of spies, R.I.P. Michelle Trachtenberg. Well,
oh yeah, I just saw that.
Down. Yeah, man.
Big,
what
it was a
what
big
a week.
day or two for.
Yeah, big celebrity deaths.
Mhm.
Michelle Trachtenberg and why am I blanking on his name?
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman. Yeah, that's
He
a
starred in The Conversation 2. A Moment of Silence.
A Moment of Silence.
All right, guys, I came up with that off the top of my head. It fits the topic of our show and also has a double entendre because it is a moment of silence because he just died. That's like a lot for a joke that I came up with in 4 seconds.
How about Hellraiser 3, Tokyo Drift?
How about Big Trouble in Little China 2, Tokyo Drift? How about Godzilla's Revenge 2, Tokyo
Drift? That I
I'd
like.
go see that immediately. I wouldn't even need to read the description. I'd be like,
That I'm
whatever
down
that's
for.
about.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
that's about, I'm down for.
Oh man, why didn't we get a Big Trouble in Little China 2? That would be legacy sequel.
Would you put more trouble in Little China, or would you put more trouble Big Trouble somewhere else?
I think you would do Big Trouble somewhere else because you had like using the same players, John Carpenter and Kurt Russell. You did Escape from New York, Escape from L.A. You have Big Trouble in Little China. You could have
Big Trouble in Little Italy.
Big Trouble in Little Italy. Mamma mia! That's a spicy meatball.
Think of like the three warriors come out in Big Trouble in Little China with their big straw hats. Like, think about the stereotypical Italian assassins that come out. It's like a bunch of Goombas come out, right?
My favorite thing, Big Trouble in Little China. We should do an episode about this, talking about this, because Big Trouble in Little China is one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen because it's such a fucking mess. The Kim Cattrall character just bursts in out of nowhere and drops like 5 minutes of exposition in a minute and a half. She talks so fast. Kurt Russell isn't even the star of this movie, but the movie wants you to think it is. But you're like, he's just the sidekick to the real star of the movie, who it seemed like the movie was just like reluctant to feature. It's such a bizarre film, but then it has all this like badass monsters and like electric critters and cool.
I was like, can I tell
effects.
you that I've seen it maybe start to finish without falling asleep once?
Yeah.
And I only remember the highest of the highlight reel. There's so much that movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see it when I was younger. Like, I literally saw it since I moved to Los Angeles. So, like, way after college and stuff. So, like, it doesn't hold a nostalgia place for me like a lot of these old movies do for a lot of us.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it. I didn't see it till quarantine.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I saw it before that.
It was fun. I give it a fun factor. But like,
sure,
if I had seen that as like a 9-year-old, I would have loved that.
Agreed.
movie.
Totally agree. And I could see that.
I mean, but it's also weird too, because it's like every stereotype in every movie, and like it's like if he just walked into a different door, he'd be fighting gremlins because the Mogwai would be there. Like it's
Right.
like it's just every. It's kind of crazy, but it is fun. I do like it, but it's also ripping off a bunch of like famous like Shogun Assassin. Those guys with the big hats are straight out of Shogun Assassins. They don't have
Right.
electrical powers in that movie, but whatever.
But in Shogun Assassin 2,
Two.
high voltage.
Oh,
How about My Left Foot, Full Throttle?
oh, Misery 2, My Left Foot.
Oh,
Now I'm
That's
getting
really
into
good.
it. Yeah, there we go.
Born on the 4th of July, Full Throttle.
Full Throttle. Born on the 4th.
I tried to do
July.
all wheelchair ones for that one. I also had FDR, but I couldn't find a good FDR movie to do.
Wasn't who? I don't know. I saw an FDR movie recently, and
It wasn't called FDR though, so the title doesn't make the joke work.
FDR 2, Blood Wings.
I would for Shitty Movie Sunday for sure. I'd watch a movie called FDR, Search of the Blood Orchid. I would watch that immediately.
Blood Wings is one of the just such a great title, but also terrible because Pumpkinhead 2 sucks so bad, and the whole time I'm waiting for him to literally sprout wings because there is a Mandela effect of me remembering a scene from Pumpkinhead where he literally has wings, like a stop motion thing. But then you're like, wait, was that Army of Darkness that I'm thinking of and not a Pumpkinhead movie? Wait, there's no wings in this at all? Ever? It's a biker, like a greaser gang? Wait, what? This movie's terrible.
That's like if you watched Gremlins 2, the new batch, and there was no new batch.
There was no new batch. It was just like a group of dudes.
The same batch.
Yeah, it's just
You'd be like, that's
same
not
batch.
what you just told me.
I mean, to give Gremlins 2 a lot of credit, they definitely deliver on it being a new batch of goofy fucking gremlins. My kid loves that movie.
Perfect. It's perfect movie. I don't like the Key and Peele sketch, but I love the movie itself, the actual movie.
Don't like the Key and Peele? What? Do you
I
not?
think people
You don't
give
like
it-
comedy though. You don't think things are funny.
Usually, yes, and that's true. He's too it's run like the idea of there's so much wacky stuff in this movie. I kind of like understand that academically and intellectually, but I'm watching the sequel to Gremlins that's more cartoony than the first one. There's supposed to be a vegetable gremlin. That doesn't seem as crazy as it could. There's like as a kid, I thought the spider gremlin and the bat gremlin were cool as hell. And you know what? I was right.
But you've worked in movies. You've
Yeah.
met the people who come in and go, "We're gonna switch it up," and they ruin the fucking movie.
Yeah, but Gremlins 2 didn't get ruined. That was perfect.
I don't know. I think the Key and Peele sketch is funny because of its on the nose nature of how that's exactly how it is. And then like most people who haven't seen that movie are like, no. And then it's like, no, all these things are actually in the movie. And then
Key
you
and
watch
Peele
it.
2, The Last Laugh.
Winner takes all.
Winner takes all. That's
All
a
right.
good one, too.
Here's one that did not get a fun subtitle, but has a sequel. 8mm 2. For those of you who don't know, 8mm 1 is
Oh, that's right.
a terrible Nick Cage movie about a snuff film. So 8mm 2, which I haven't seen, I'm assuming is about more snuff movies. Let's come up with a good subtitle for that.
Oh, I already got it.
Oh yeah, hit me with it.
You're not gonna like it. I'll tell you, I have this subtitle that was gold when used. You know what it is? This is what this is, dude. We are making a movie subtitle version of Cards Against Humanity.
We are.
You know when you get like a killer nuke Cards Against Humanity card, but you're waiting to hold it for the right one?
Yep.
I have this, I believe, and I was gonna throw it down with another one, but 8mm 2 is way better. Are you ready?
Yeah.
8mm 2, Back to the Miners. It's evil to laugh at that, but I was looking so hard. First of all, I'm on a lot of watch lists now because before I thought it through, I Googled the words pedophile movies. And I was trying to look for movies about pedophiles that would work for this joke for that. And I was like, oh, God, now I'm going to be in some sort of government database just because Googling that.
That's why you have to then go in and say, research for comedy bit.
Well, then I figured by my subsequent searches, they would see I was looking up different types of movies.
All right. 8mm 2. Die, Mark Man, died. Die, Dark Man, died. Flub my own line. That works. That would work. Here's the other funny thing. When the subtitle is the beginning, like Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
Blair Witch 2? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that either. Damn.
Because they flip them around. There's also The Rage, Carrie 2. You could have 8mm 2, Carrie 2.
How about 8mm 2, I blew up the kid.
Oh, no.
I actually had, for that one, I had Taken 2, I blew up the kid.
On topic, but kind of dark. Did you see the movie called Red Rooms?
No.
Came out this year. It's French Canadian, I believe. And it is a woman at a trial, and the man who's on trial is accused of selling gross snuff murder shit on the internet in the dark web. And there's no gore in it. It's very mundane. It's not very violent. It's a lot of it's courtroom drama. A lot of it's like plotting, talking, but it gets under your skin and is so creepy and unnerving in a brilliant way. Very impressed. Really slow. Like just like one of those movies that just slowly draws you in, and then you're at the end of the movie and you're just like gripping. You're like, oh fuck. It's wild. No gore. You never see anybody get tortured, but like how it sucks you into her world and her obsession is just, it's brilliant. And I think it's a brilliant film, but very, very unnerving. Good stuff. Way better than 8mm. Tell you that.
I'm trying so hard to Google. What did I Google? Silly child movie subtitles to try to see a movie that, like, Problem Child 2, like the subtitle for that, to then ask if there was a Red Rooms title for that. I couldn't get it in time though, guys. I'm sorry. It's like when
you were trying so hard.
Can I give you my original, the one that I had for Back to the Miners?
Yes, please.
The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. Back to the Miners. It didn't have the edge that I wanted it to, but you helped me. That's why the Launchpad is a strong team. That's why the Handsome Boys belong together.
Oh my gosh. Benjamin Buttons 2. Benjamin Buttons 2. Let me come up with a good one there. Benjamin Buttons 2, your sister's a werewolf. When in doubt. Benjamin Buttons 2, The Dream Child.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
You said the some of these subtitles come before the actual title of the film. Yeah. I have one of that, and it's more of a concept. We had real movies that were Son of the Mask, Son of Kong, Son of Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
I just came up with some generic ones, but like Son of Psycho, Son of RoboCop, Son of Predator. You could do Son of Terminator.
Son of anything is...
really could. I couldn't think of anything that was super fun unless I doubled down Inception style, like Son of the Mask, or Son of Kong, or Son of Godzilla.
Grandchild of Godzilla?
Yeah, no, you can't do that. That's too boring. Son of Godzilla. You're like, what? Did your movie theater just stutter at me?
Godzilla 75, grandchild of Godzilla 2, Fast, Too Furious.
Okay, so here's my Too Fast, Too Furious thing, because I thought about this one a lot.
Because Too Fast, Too Furious is kind of brilliant in a terrible sort of way.
Agreed, and I thought about that. That's almost exactly how I phrased it in my head, because some of these subtitles are perfect as they're used. Some of them you can't use anywhere else except for the actual movie, and it's beautiful. Some of the puns and stuff are great. Too Fast, Too Furious, I honestly don't... Is that the second one?
Yes,
I don't
that's
think
actually
so.
no.
That's
Wait,
the second. I don't think it's the second one in order.
wait.
Google that. I don't think that's the actual one. But for those of you who don't know, it's literally the number 2, the word fast, the number 2, the word furious. Too fast, too furious. I don't think it's the second movie. I think it comes later.
I don't know. It just says this sequel, but well, because they went like, oh my god, it is because it went like then they did like Fast and Furious instead of not the Fast and Furious.
Oh
and
no,
then
no,
it's
okay,
this-
it is. It is the second. Too fast. It's
no,
Too
because
Fast,
Tokyo
Too
Drift
Furious.
is the second one, right?
Tokyo Drift is the third one, but I'm seeing one here
Oh.
that says the turbocharged. Oh, Prelude. Yeah. The Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift is 3. Fast and Furious is the 4th?
Oh my god.
Wait, or the 5th? I'm missing a number 5 here.
Well, Too Fast, Too Furious got Golden Raspberry Award for being a shitty movie.
Well, it's good. It's got a good title, and I came up with a bunch of them because really all you need is 2 words separated by the word "and" or an ampersand, right?
Yeah.
To make that title work.
Yeah.
So the ones that I came up with, in order of how I came up with them: 2 Turner, 2 Hooch. I went from that to 2 Crime, 2 Punishment. 2 Bill, 2 Ted. And it works with so many things. And get ready for this one. Ready? This one, you got to stay with me for a minute.
Okay.
To me, to myself, to Irene.
The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
I had to Velma, to Louise. And then I'll cap it off with 2 Willy Wonka, 2 Chocolate Factory. They're not as funny as I'm laughing, but it's like that stupid. It's back to the original premise of this episode that cracked me up for no real reason.
But for some reason, it just makes me think of Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
So, okay, wait. That one would be Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything. To Julie Newmar.
Even Julie Newmar's like, I don't understand what that is.
Tears in my eyes, and it's not even that funny. I think I'm hysterical, but I don't necessarily think I've earned the laughter that I'm giving myself here.
You literally just inserted 2 into inconvenient places. But look, you had 3 of them at least, and comedies comes in 3s, so I laughed.
Two Pit, Two Pendulum.
Two Pit. We were just talking about that movie the other day. It's a good Vincent Price one.
Ugh. Oh my God.
Battle to the Planet of the Apes.
There was a lot of those that I didn't even touch, like all the Jason ones and stuff. Well, I touched one Jason one.
What Jason one did you touch?
Erin Brockovich Takes Manhattan. And that one, it works with any name. Cinderella Takes Manhattan. Mary Poppins Takes Manhattan. Forrest Gump Takes Manhattan.
Is that
And
the
of course-
first Takes Manhattan? Because it's been
Yeah.
used, but is
I'm
Jason...
gonna guess. Yeah, I didn't research it, but Gandhi Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, you can always add Takes Manhattan and just be like, it's in New York. Manhattan. Yeah, that seems to be the only title. Where does Take Manhattan trope originate? Huh. Wow. That's when it was used, but it was used in a song. But then later it's like Mr. Monk Takes Manhattan. That's interesting. Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah,
When did
that's
that come
actually
out?
where I got it from. I realized when I wrote it down, the Muppets Take Manhattan is the sequel that I was thinking of when I was writing down the funny names. It wasn't Jason. Wait, the Muppets
1984.
took it. Did the Muppets take it before Jason?
Muppets took it in 1984.
Jason's later than
1989.
84.
Yeah. Muppets
Yeah,
Take
so
Manhattan.
can you imagine Jason got to Manhattan and there was already little flags there? flag in the ground with Muppets on it. That M,
Oh,
that cursive
and
M.
can you imagine, like, Jason's on the subway being a dick, pushing people around, then Miss Piggy spins around with her upside down eyes, and she's like, "Rah!" And then does her flying pig judo to his face. Miss Piggy kicks his ass. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with Miss Piggy. Don't get in the way of her and her frog man.
You know, they're making so many terrible movies and they're mining our childhood for stupid movies. Where is our Muppets Jason crossover?
I'm just thinking that right now. Who would be on the roof trying to box out Jason and then get his head knocked off?
Gonzo.
Gonzo and Rizzo. I mean, yeah, what Muppets? Oh man, that would be great. Why can't we have that?
And then you have you can have with Dr. Teeth with the Electric Mayhem.
Yeah.
He's doing the video. He's filming his music video when Jason comes and kills him.
Remember
right?
when we did the Muppet episode? That was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
We have a
Plug
whole episode where we take a movie, or an existing movie, and you keep one human being and the rest become Muppets, and it is hysterical.
Yeah, I mean, it works, and we really planned that one. We have some, if I may say so myself, we have some funny picks for that one.
Yeah, that one was really funny. I picked Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where the chick is the human and the rest are all Muppets. Hysterical. Hysterical.
I want to go back and re-listen to that now.
I know. That one's a good one.
All right, so here's a word that we hear a lot, okay, as a sequel subtitle. Requiem.
Requiem.
Do you know what the definition of Requiem is?
I mean, isn't it like it's a eulogy at a funeral, a song, like yeah,
something like that, right? That's what I thought. So I Googled it to see what it actually meant. And according at least to the beginning thing on Google, I didn't do 20 hours of research of just this word, but it says it's a mass for souls of the dead, or a musical composition setting parts of a requiem mass. Okay, or
it's funeral music,
an act or token of remembrance. So I went with, okay, a lot of stuff that's at least not religious oriented, like Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. They're saying Aliens vs. Predator Requiem is like remembrance, a token, right? And I'm thinking, okay, a token. It's supposed to be a solemn, dark, deathly remembrance.
It is dark. They took that literally.
So I came up with, for Requiem, I tried to think of things that lent themselves to be remembered and thought about solemnly. So I came up with Freddy Got Fingered, Requiem.
Oh my God.
I
Freddy's
came up
dead. Freddy got fingered.
I like that. That's why your brain and my brain are friends.
Freddy's dead. Freddy got fingered. He accidentally, killed himself.
I'd watch it. You don't have. That's the thing. You don't have to tell me. I'm watching it based on the subtitle. Really, as a thing, is just a lazy way to be like, I don't feel like writing a summary. I don't want you to read the summary. Just see this based on this title. And I'm like, okay, I'd see Freddy got fingered. Freddy's dead. Freddy got fingered. How about? Do you have? I have more Requiem. You have more Requiem?
Yeah, hit me with more Requiem.
American Pie Requiem. It works, right? Because it's like wait.
R.I.P. for the pie. Yeah, I was gonna eat that pie, and they ruined it.
I remember. I have an active remembrance about you almost eating that pie.
And they ruined it.
Human Centipede Requiem. Let's have a moment of silence for that.
Why is Alien versus Predator called Requiem?
It doesn't. I mean, it sounds cool.
That's like,
but like it's
That's like anytime a movie's like the final chapter, and you're like, bullshit.
Right, yeah.
This is just a fancy way of saying the final chapter, even though. No, you're gonna make more. Well, they almost killed Alien versus Predator. We're almost gonna kill the franchise. That movie does not deserve the hate that it gets. It's
The
not
first
great.
one or the second one?
Alien versus Predator Requiem. The first one deserves every ounce of hate it gets because
Okay.
why did you make that movie when you have an amazing comic book that you could have made instead? But like Requiem delivered on all the things it promised it was going to do. There was aliens, there was predators, there was facehuggers, killed a bunch of kids, killed a bunch of annoying kids. There was a predalien. I mean, like that to me is the top tits of what the comic books were doing that made me love them. And the movie delivered on that, but it's it certainly has its faults, but I don't think it's any worse than its predecessor.
No,
And I
and I
don't-
think it's way better. I think like my Aliens vs Predator 1 is not a great movie, and I think as a movie person, we can pick it apart for that.
Yeah.
But as a fan of both franchises, Aliens and Predator, that movie I think does a disservice to each of those franchises in different ways, and I'm not going to get into it right now, and it doesn't like make me cry, but like it makes Predators seem kind of wimpy. The first fight ends in a Predator death, and it's a one-on-one fight, and you're like, that doesn't like the Colonial Marines killed more aliens per man than a Predator getting killed immediately. So it's like, and I you could tell me that they're unblooded hunters and blah, 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 and rite of passage. I get it. But, like, that's not the movie any of us wanted to see.
No. Not at
or
all.
at least many of us. And I think the second one was a little bit more, it has the same amount of problems as a film. But it's like, what do you want to see? A Predator killing a bunch of aliens? Okay. And the Predator looks way more canonical. The aliens in the first Aliens vs. Predator were fine, but these are awesome. There's a lot of them. They're killing people like crazy.
And the more Predator movies they make, it just keeps affirming my belief that they need to stop letting Alice Gillis touch them because he's always like, keeps giving them facelifts. And like in Prey, he's like, I totally forgot what a Predator looked like. I'm sorry. Just totally forgot. It's like he's like it's like when you're like, I'm gonna draw a Predator from memory, and you're just like boop beep bop boop boop. And you're
No,
like,
it's when your kid draws Predator from memory. And
yeah,
you're like, cool, buddy, what'd you make? Daddy, it's a Predator. And you're like, okay, now that you say that, I can see what you were going for. I see the mandibles now, but I thought you just gave that guy's 4 eyes on his mouth. I didn't know what you drew.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Stop tinkering with the design. It doesn't need that at all. No, literally nobody's asking for that. Stop it. Got more Requiems?
No, those are all the Requiems that I had.
My kid is asking a lot about werewolves right now, which is fun.
Show her the Howling franchise.
Yeah. We'll start with the marsupials and work our way backwards. It's because of the song Warren Zevon's Werewolf of London.
Sure.
Saw a werewolf with a Chinese menu in his hand, walking through the streets, Soho in the rain. Great song. Makes no sense. It's super good. But she likes me to sing her that song. And I'm putting her to bed and I'm about to walk out of the room. She goes, Daddy. And I go, yeah. And she goes, what's rips his lungs out? Because there's a moment in the song where it goes, you better stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim. Ha! I'd like to meet his...
see his tail.
Yeah, I'd like to meet
no
his tail.
joke. Kent and I were just singing this song this week, and I purposely walked around that part of it because I wasn't going to. He's old enough now that he would absolutely be like, wait, what? I didn't notice that when the music was playing, but now that we're just singing it together.
Yep, and I did not do that, and my kid goes, what's rips his lungs out? And I was like, well, what do you think werewolves eat? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like,
human respiratory systems?
like Chinese food, obviously. So had to gingerly step around that landmine. I think I did all right.
Wait till you show her the Howling 2. He'll rip your lungs out, Jim.
But here's a song that deserves a movie spin-off. Well-dressed werewolves in London sipping a pina colada at Trader Vic's with their hair being
That's that's easily a children's animated series.
Sure, right? Well-dressed werewolves being cool. They're always shown as like animalistic. Let's get some Dapper Dans up in here.
Yeah, just cruising around town at night.
I'm gonna pitch this, and they're like, "Mind if we slap a Howling title on here?" Howling 9, Werewolf of London. There you have
It's
it.
like Howling 9, Trader Vic's.
Trader Vic's. Oh, Howling 9. It's about time. The Amityville and all their shitty
Oh,
spin-offs, there's a lot of them.
The
'Cause you got-
Possession, I think, is one.
Amityville, Evil Escapes. Amityville, The Curse. Amityville, It's About Time. Amityville, Dollhouse. There's so many. Now, because I feel like it's not even in its own franchise anymore, there's like Amityville Toilet. Like there's just tons
Well,
of
it gets it just the house ones. They have Amityville Dollhouse. They have Amityville. They have Amityville Dollhouse. Then they have Amityville Hen House. Then they have Amityville Outhouse.
You're joking, but I wouldn't know.
There you go.
because-
Yeah. There's the one that's what you asked for earlier. You wanted me to give you
because
fake ones.
there literally is an Amityville Toilet one. that's
Well,
like-
now it's like I don't know what it is with rights or whatever, but now it's one of those. If you go on Tubi, you could find Amityville anything. Amityville Shark, I've seen. It doesn't even have sharks in it. Like it's, you know what I mean? It's there was one that was an Amityville Thanksgiving. It's not. It barely is Thanksgiving, and it has nothing to do with Amityville. It's literally shot in some rando house that doesn't even look like a house.
Amityville is like the word gourmet. You just slap it on a package, and you're like, ah, and it's like, what? Why? Doesn't make it good. It used to mean something, but like, how many of the Amityville movies were good? The first one's okay.
One. What? Oh, I love the first one.
It's fine. I have nothing. I have nothing bad to say about it. I just don't think it. Like, to me, it's like classic haunted house movie. Sure, the most classic haunted house movie. No.
No, I would agree with that. I'm not. I wouldn't debate that. I love it though, and I think the first one's fantastic.
It's fine. I'm not like rushing to buy it on Blu-ray 4K, anything like that.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't rush for that. What about Amityville Requiem?
No, wait. You could have got me.
What about Amityville 4? Your sister is a real estate agent.
His sister is a real estate agent. Amityville House 2, the second story.
I like that. That was like a good one. That was one of the examples of a really good one.
Yeah,
A
House
good
2 is
subtitle.
good.
House 2, second
Second
story.
story,
It's
yeah.
freaking great.
Here's a Blu-ray I just paid too much money for, but I like it. Blue Sunshine.
I don't know what that is. Is that a sequel to Red Sunshine?
No, but there's Blue Sunshine 2, Electric Blue.
Electric Boogaloo.
Boogaloo. That's not funny, but it's funny.
Oh, it's funny. I'm giving both of us credit for that. That was good.
Boogaloo. This is actually really funny. But we saw a poster for this movie, and Kate's like, I want that poster. And I'm not going to deny my wife when she wants a movie poster in our house, because I love movie posters. And the movie poster is great because it's this giant warning. If you took hallucinogens between the 1968 and 1972, you could be a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. And you're like, okay, that's the plot of this movie. Blue Sunshine is some bad strain of acid, and a bunch of people who took it back in the late 60s are now turning into bald homicidal maniacs, which is hysterical. But it's one of those movies where everybody in the movie makes the wrong decision. Matt, let's just say for a moment you're framed for a triple murder. All right, but you're smart. You're piecing the mystery together. There's other murders in town. You're like, I think they're connected. Would you go to those crime scenes and just implicate yourself by leaving evidence everywhere? Obviously not. That's what this guy
color is
does.
the sunshine while I'm doing this?
Oh no, I've stumbled into my own sequel. No. Is my sister a werewolf while this is happening? Or no.
That's the joke I should have made.
Because yeah, this guy is literally is like, I'm going to solve the mystery on my own. So to do that, he's going to all these crime scenes, which he wasn't implicated in, could have proven his innocence, and just like fucks it all up. And you're like, wow, you're a dummy. But then like, he's not the only person making wild, bizarre choices. There's like actor choices too, where it's like, all right, you as a human being, just ad lib a little bit. Let me hear, just whatever you feel. And they're like, all right, sure. Hey, how's it going? Ah! You're like, what? That's an odd choice. Why? I don't know. Just that's what I felt like doing. It's like nobody talks this way. Nobody behaves this way. I love it. I love it for that. It's super fun.
It's interesting because the first one, like you said, it's very it's kind of like very on the level. The second one is a lot more esoteric, and you could tell that from the title,
Yeah.
which is Blue Sunshine, Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh my God. What have we become?
Hilarious. My list is pretty much dead. The only one I have, it's not strong, so I'll give it to you, and then you tell me if you can come up with a better one.
Okay, hit me.
Birdcage 2, Armed and Fabulous.
Armed and Featherless.
Oh, nice. There's a Miscongeniality, which I've seen the first one of, I think, but I didn't see the rest of them. But Miscongeniality 2 is called Armed and Fabulous. I was
Yes.
like, oh, that's a great one. I just don't know where to put it.
Armed and Fabulous. Winter Soldier. Armed and
Yeah. Hellboy. I didn't think of that. I was leaning into the fabulous part, not the armed part.
Oh, yeah.
Octoman. Octoman 2, Armed and Fabulous. Oh, there it is. I'd go see. I would buy a ticket for that right away.
Octoman 2. I am having trouble finding Octoman. I would like to find that movie. I'm sure it's on Tubi or something.
To
but
buy?
like I want it.
It's on, I don't know what streamer, but there's a Riff Tracks version of it at least.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
it's Riff
yeah.
Tracks Live, so it's got the jokes in it, but
Sometimes that's funny. Butterfly Effect 2 doesn't have a subtitle. Can we think of one for Butterfly Effect 2? Butterfly Effect 2, Viva Rock Vegas. I just like picking the dumbest one possible.
Oh, the Blood Wings. The Blood Wings.
Oh, Butterfly Effect 2, Blood Wings.
Blood Wings, yeah.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
How about
this time the butterfly gets its revenge. You stepped on me in the past. I'm stepping on you in the future. Time traveling butterflies here to fuck some shit up.
Time traveling giant butterflies.
Oh my God. Yeah. The dude goes into the past, accidentally steps on the butterfly, comes back to the future. In the original book, everybody's speaking Russian. In this one, it's Mothras everywhere, just like, and you're like, oh no, no. For those of you who don't know, The Butterfly Effect is a movie with Ashton Kutcher that doesn't explain its title very well.
I thought you were going to explain what a real butterfly effect was for a second, and I was like, that's slightly condescending and not on our brand for the topic, but I'll allow it. And now, okay, Ashton Kutcher, we're going to make fun of him in his movie. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
He made a movie called Butterfly Effect, which is about time travel. In the original book, these time travelers go back in time, and they're like, don't touch anything. It could affect with ripples the future, and they come back to the future and everybody's speaking Russian, and he looks at the bottom of his boot and he stepped on a butterfly. That was the original novella. But then the movie doesn't really explain why it's called Butterfly Effect. They sort of do, but not in a way that you're like, that's why I get it now. That's why you need.
Can anybody here please raise their hand if they've stepped on a butterfly before?
Yeah, how do you yep. We went to an arboretum that had a butterfly chamber.
And there was a sign that said, do not step on this grass.
No. Even better. So you walk in, there's butterflies everywhere. It's beautiful. To walk in, you go through an airlock. And as you walk through the airlock, it hits you with harsh fans to blow off any butterflies.
Right.
but they did not calibrate this correctly. So as you're walking out, it just shoots butterflies to the ground with the force of 1,000 tornadoes, and it shot it on the ground, and I stepped on it. I didn't mean to. And they were mad about that. I was like, I'm coming through your airlock. You're the ones who, and like
your fans are so powerful that butterfly was dead before he even hit the ground, let alone me stepping on him.
100%, because you saw it happening in real time. It's like when the glasses that fell off and you stepped on. You saw it happening. You're like, oh no, there was one on. Oh, it's on the ground. Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Shrunk. Oh. Oh, no.
But you said you saw it in real time, not back in time, right? So the timeline is preserved.
Remember, man, in our timeline, the Leprechaun is a choice
Oh,
film.
that's right.
So if the Leprechaun movies are still shitty, I stepped on that butterfly and ruined it.
All right, I got one more. I got a couple more that, well, back in the habit, we said.
What was it? Leprechaun Back to the Hood changed the world.
Yeah, it did. It really did. In multiple timelines.
But not this one. This is why Gene Hackman's dying.
No, he's dead, Rumi. He's not dying. It's not currently happening.
Ooh,
Facebook told me. Okay. All right. Cruise control. Right? Speed 2.
Speed 2.
Cruise control, which kind of works on a pun level, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But okay, whatever. I was looking for a car crash movie.
Okay.
Something that had an emotional car crash, not Fast and Furious, but something where there was a big car crash. The best I could do was Becoming Princess Diana 2, Cruise Control. It didn't have the punch that I wanted it to. You think we could do, whether it's car related or not, Cruise Control for something else?
Cruise Control. I mean, Cruising 2, Cruise Control.
I was thinking Christine 2, Cruise Control. But
that would be funny though, because it's so you have the first Christine film, right? It's a bitchin' car. It was a bitchin' car when that movie came out. Christine as a model car, that old Chevrolet is a bitchin' car. If you had to go through the sequel route of they melted that car down for scrap metal and then reprinted it in a factory in Detroit, and now it's coming out as a shitty minivan, and oh my God, every year that car looks dumber and dumber and dumber, and now it's a shitty Cybertruck.
the movie leaves it as a block, right? It's been crushed, and then don't we see one of the fenders move a little bit right before the credits?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of my favorite franchises to redo shit, Child's Play 2.
Yep.
They find a melted doll in a murder house where people have been murdered and suspected. Now, let's just say you're the cops/toy company and you don't believe the doll is possessed. You still take that doll and refurbish it and resell it? Because that's what they do at the beginning of Child's Play 2. They literally hand scrape melted flesh off of the metal underskeleton of this doll, refurbish it, and sell it. And when it puts the machine puts the eyes in, there's an electrical surge that happens, and he becomes alive again. So I'm going to say Christine 2, Cruise Control. Oh, here it is. Christine 2, Cruise Control starts, and they just literally, Chevrolet takes that heap, and they just unfold it, and they iron that shit out, and they smooth out the wrinkles as best they can, and then they just sell it used, and it's Christine 2, right? Then at the end of it, the smash up Christine 2, Christine 2, she smashes, she gets all fucked up. At the end of Child's Play 2, he gets run through a machine that sticks extra arms and legs and hair on him. Then he gets hit with melted, liquid plastic that melts him. Then they stick an air tube in his mouth, and it blows up that mass of gelatinous nonsense he's become.
Like you do.
Child's Play 3 starts in that same factory where he was demolished. and a giant skill crane claw comes down and pinches him up and peels his carcass from the floor. As it does that, it pierces his body and blood starts to drip. And there's no humans in this entire scene. It's just a dark-ass factory. When the skill crane brings him over, his blood drips in a vat of melted plastic that, as they drip it across, is restarting to restart the factory. And his blood gets mixed in with that plastic, presumably to make one single doll, even though it's the size of a swimming pool. So they remake him with that plastic, and that doll is now possessed in the third one. So, Skill Crane, and this is easy to do, right? Because they have cranes to pick up cars, picks up the husk of Christine 2, brings her across the conveyor belt where she drips oil onto the new cars being built, right? And then we have Christine 3, Blood Wings. Christine 3, The Search for the Blood Orchid.
The Search for the Blood Orchid. At some point, I'm surprised they haven't just redone, like, how, just get a model of car, make it start killing people, especially now when they're AI. How could you not have, like, done this movie? It seems like a slam dunk. Self-driving cars.
There's probably political implications to certain conversations with that right now, so I'm thinking like, oh yeah, you could do that, but there's a lot of companies that be like, nope, let's not make that movie.
The ghost of a dead Nazi is trapped in my car, making it evil. Go movie.
Go movie.
It's called Swastikar.
Swastikar is a movie title that has not been used yet.
No, it isn't, but it's being used a lot right now.
Oh, I know. But that's a great movie title.
Yeah, right? And
so is Swastikilla. Is that not a... That's Swastikilla is not a... Right?
I'm not Googling it.
I'll do it. I already Googled pedophile movies. I would be arrested tomorrow.
You're fucked, dude. Guys, tell us what your favorite shitty movie subtitle is. If somebody knows what the first movie to include a colon subtitle to the movie, let us know, because that would be very interesting. I had a hard time finding any info on it. So I'm just gonna say, Electric Boogaloo, still the best.
Jurassic Park 2, Lost World.
Lost World?
That was the first one, yeah.
That was the first one ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
Did Pet Sematary 2 have one, or was it just called Pet Sematary 2?
It was just called Pet Sematary 2.
I left Resurrection on the table, too. I was trying to think of a funny historical, like Abraham Lincoln 2, Resurrection. Abraham Lincoln, Resurrection. I was like, what would be a funny character to get resurrected, but I couldn't get the wordplay down.
Back in the Habit.
Back in the Habit, I was going to try to do an OCD one, like someone who's got an OCD. Back in the Habit, but it didn't flow as good.
Requiem for a Dream 2, Back in the Habit.
Yes, there it is. Requiem for a Dream 2. I love it. What about Aliens vs. Predator, Requiem for a Dream 2, Back in the Habit? Aliens 2, Predator 2, Requiem for a Dream, Back in the Habit 2.
Okay, so here it is. 1914. The first film to have a colon-separated subtitle is The Exploits of Elaine, The Clutching Hand from 1914.
They're like, what are we going to call this movie? And they're like, I don't know. It's about Elaine and the things she does. All right, well, let's just put a temporary title in.
The Clutching Hand.
Well, they said exploits of, what is her name? Ellen?
The Exploits of Elaine.
Of Elaine. The Exploits of Elaine. They were like, that doesn't have enough punch. Let's change it. They were like, no, we've already written it down and it's 1914. We don't have the time or resources to redo this. We could just add to it and try to make it better if we want. And they're like, all right, how can we really save this title?
But thinking about like all those Sherlock Holmes books did that. They'd be like Sherlock Holmes, The Thing, blah, 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 Blood Wings. or Sherlock Holmes 2, Cruise Control. Like those ones did it first because they were serialized stories.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe that's what the throwback is. Maybe that's where this is all stemming from. Serialized novellas. Interesting. Maybe.
Oh, could be. I see.
Guys, let us know. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever the fuck you're on. Watch us on YouTube. You can tell us there. Yeah, let us know. What's your favorite subtitled silly subtitle? I think we covered a whole bunch of them. But yeah, let us
There's
know.
obviously so many more. And I would love to
Yeah.
see you guys pair up different ones from my list, from his list, or from your list, and mutant them together, right?
You know what I really want them to stop doing? I would rather have the dumbest. I would rather you name every sequel Electric Boogaloo before you name a sequel the same title as the original film from 30 years ago. Like,
Oh, yeah.
how it's like Scream,
Scream.
and
Predator, the Predator.
Yep, and I know that for them it's just a way because when you Google it, it will appear first because it'll be like Scream 2022, Scream 2001. When did the first one? 1997. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was 96.
Yeah, 1996. It's just so that when you Google it, it will appear first. But I'm tired of that, and it's super annoying. Don't name a movie a sequel the same name as the original, just with a now updated date. The Thing, 2011. Fuck you.
It's like it's like when you search something on Amazon and you get like 2 or 3 things, and then you're like, why is it showing me that? And you're like, oh, sponsored? That's not what I'm fucking looking for. That's what that's like.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see the one that somebody paid for me to see. Fuck you. Ruby, there's only one more thing to do, and that's blast us off. You ready to do this? 3, 2, 1. Whoosh. We're the Rocketeers, and we are Blood Wings Out.
Trying to think of one that has out in it though.
Crashing out. Back to the shack. Blowing up.
The Rescue. What was the Rescuers 2 called? Down Under. Rescuers Down Under.
Oh yeah. The Rocketeers take Manhattan.
Human Centipede 2 Down Under. Human Centipede Down Under.
Oh, they don't need any more of those movies. Human Centipede takes Manhattan. The Human Centipede versus
The new
Mothra.
batch.
The new batch. No, versus Mothra. There you go. Oh, see, you could tack on any versus anybody, and you'd be good.
Oh yeah, verses are no problem. You could verse all day.
Completely different. Completely.
Aaron
different.
Brockovich versus Gigan. And again, Gandhi works for all of these.
Gandhi meets the Wolfman. Gandhi and Frankenstein meet the Mummy and Abbott Costello.
Meat is so much better than verse because meat sounds like you bumped into each other and we're like, oh wait, are you the Wolfman? I'm Aaron Brockovich. Nice to meet you. Big fan. The Wolfman's like, we're not going to fight? You're like, I guess we could fight in the bottom of a castle as it falls apart in the last scene of the movie. But really, it's just a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
I mean, we should have tea. Let's do it. I'll put on a kettle. Oh, my God.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4,